Howdy, 8th grade. What we're going to be doing today is a really kind of weird version of long division that is a trick we use to help divide polynomials. So I'm going to start off with something that we already know how to do, which is going to be dividing a polynomial by a monomial. So dividing by monomials. And what this is going to look like is going to be something along the lines of 8x cubed plus 12x squared plus 4x divided by 4x. And if this happens, what I can do is to break up my fraction. So that's not how I want to do that. 8x cubed divided by 4x plus 12x squared divided by 4x plus 4x divided by 4x. So instead of having my fraction combined, like when I'm adding fraction, just split it up, so I had a lot of easier things to work with. And I can just start canceling things out. So I know 8 divided by 4 is going to give me 2, and x cubed divided by x is x squared, 12 divided by 4 is 3, x squared divided by x is x, and 4x divided by 4x is 1. And that would be my answer. So that's not too bad if we're dividing by monomials. All we got to do is split it up so that everything is over the single term on the bottom, and our life works out pretty well. Sometimes we get a bit of a harder problem. So we're going to now start dividing by a binomial. Dividing, there we go, by binomials. And this is going to do a lot of similar stuff. So I'm going to have first one that's similar to ones we've done before, where we're going to solve it by factoring, and then we're going to do another one where you have to use a new trick. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 9 divided by x minus 3. So looking up here, I can tell that this is going to be x minus 3 times x minus 3. If I factor that, the reason I know that is negative 3 and negative 3 add to negative 6, and negative 3 times negative 3 are positive 9. And that's still going to be divided by x minus 3. And that is equal to, after canceling out these terms, just x minus 3. And just like that, we are done. So that was a fairly easy one. So we're going to do one now that maybe is less easy. So if I have negative 25x plus 3x squared plus 8 divided by, this is another example, divided by x minus 8. I don't know if I can factor that thing on top. It's kind of crazy, it's weird, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm not even going to try factoring it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to long divide. So this is going to be long division. And this is going to be the longest of division. So what I'm going to want to do is to start by writing this right here in standard form. So what that means is I'm going to put my x's in order from the biggest x to the smallest x. So my biggest x is the x squared. So this is going to go first. So I have 3x squared. This right here is going to go second. Minus 25x, and then this has no x left, so it is going to be third, and I have plus 8, and I want to see how many times x minus 8 will go into this. And I know this looks very, very strange. It is a little bit strange, to be entirely honest, but we're going to try to put our x minus 8 into this long set here. So before we get too far in this, I want to do a problem kind of in parallel of what normal long division looks like. Normal long division. So we're going to think about normal long division. Now that we have this problem set up, we're going to look at normal long division so that we can really get into what it is we're doing exactly. So if I'm dividing 15 into 125, sorry, 175, what's going to happen is I start by looking at my 15, asking how many times it goes into 1. 15 doesn't go into 1, so I'm going to put a 0. That's okay. And I'm going to see how many times 15 goes into 17. 15 goes into 17 once. I multiply 1 times 15, write down 15. 17 minus 15 is 2. Bring down my 5, and I have 25. So 15 goes into 25 once. Subtract that, and I end up with 10. So my answer would be 11 with a remainder of 10, or 11 and 10 over 15. So I have my remainder of 10. That's still divided by 15, so I just wrote that as a fraction. And after that, I am good to go. So let's look at this weird long division now, where we're working with polynomials instead of just regular numbers, just because that's going to make our life a little bit rougher. I want to see how many times x minus 8 is going to go into this. But like we did over with our normal division, I'm going to start just by looking at the first term. So I want to know how many times x minus 8 goes into 3x squared. Really what I want to know is how many times x goes into 3x squared. So to do that, I know that x times 3x is going to be 3x squared. So that's what I'm going to use, 3x squared. So I know that if I multiply this whole equation by 3x, which is going to go here, I will get something that will cancel out that 3x squared, which is a good starting spot. So 3x times x is 3x squared minus my 3x times 8, or plus 3x times negative 8 is really what I have here. And that's going to be 24x. So now I'm going to subtract. 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. 24x minus negative 24x is minus 1x. And I still have my plus 8. So now I'm left with minus x plus 8. And I have x minus 8. So what I have to multiply x by to get to negative x, well, I have to multiply it by negative 1. And when I multiply by negative 1, I get negative x plus 8. I subtract that. Negative x minus negative x is 0. 8 minus 8 is 0. So I have a remainder of 0. So this is going to end up being 3x minus 1 as my final answer, which is a lot. Long division with these things is kind of complicated, but it helps out a lot because it means that we don't have to just intuitively factor everything, which sometimes we can't always do. So we're going to try one more real quick, just because that one didn't have a remainder. I want to try one with a remainder so we can see what that looks like. So I'm going to have 2x squared minus 9 minus 7x divided by negative 4 plus x. So again, I want to reorder this so that my biggest x goes first, which is the 2x squared. My second biggest x goes second, which is my minus 7x. And then we continue like that, minus 9. I want to do the same thing for the outside. So my biggest x was just the x, and then I have minus 4. So my question is, how many times does x go into 2x squared? And x goes into 2x squared 2x times. And I know that because 2x times x is 2x squared. So now I'm going to have 2x times x, which is 2x squared. And then 2x times 4 is 8x. And I know that this is going to be a minus. So I subtract this. 2x squared minus 2x squared is going to be 0. And negative 7x minus negative 8x is 1x. So now I'm asking myself, how many times does x go into 1? Well, x goes into 1x one time. So I end up with 1x minus 4. I'm going to bring down my 9. So 1x minus 1x is going to be 0. And negative 9 minus negative 4 is negative 5. So that's going to be my remainder. I have a remainder of negative 5. So my answer is going to be 2x plus 1 plus my remainder, which is negative 5, divided by x minus 4. So because this is what I'm dividing by, negative 5 divided by x minus 4 is my remainder. It's what remains. And that's going to go into this final little bit of fraction. I got just one more I want to do real quick, which is just kind of a technicality, just to make sure we know what to do when we have some weird coefficients. So this one's going to be weird coefficients. And let's try it real quick. If I have negative 2x plus 5 plus 3x cubed divided by negative 3 minus x. Negative 3 plus x. There we go. Need to make sure I'm writing it down right. It won't quite work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to put these in order. So I start off with my 3x cubed. That's my biggest x. So 3x cubed. And then I'm looking for my x squared. But I notice I don't have one. So what I'm going to want to do is just kind of put in an x squared anyways. But I have none of them, so it's going to be plus 0x squared. I have a x right here, so it'll be minus 2x plus 5. And we're going to see how many times x minus 3 goes into that. So I put my x first, then my coefficient. And let's work this out. So how many times does x go into 3x cubed? Well, if I multiply x by 3, I'll get to 3x. And I need to multiply it by x squared to get up to x cubed. So it goes in 3x squared times. And 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times negative 3 is minus 9x squared. And by subtracting this, I'll end up with 0 plus 9x squared. So 0 minus negative 9 is positive 9. And I'm going to bring this down, minus 2x here. So my next question is how many times does x go into 9x squared? And x goes into 9x squared. 9x times. So 9x times x is 9x squared. And that's going to leave me with 9x squared here. And 9x times negative 3 is minus 27x. So once I do that, negative 2 minus negative 27 is going to be positive 25. So I have 25x, bring down my plus 5. And now the question is how many times does x go into 25x? And x goes into 25x 25 times. So I'll end up with minus 25x minus 75, which is the 25 times negative 3. 25x minus 25x is 0, which is awesome. And then I have 5 minus negative 75, which can be plus 80. Kind of a big number, but that's okay. So my final answer is going to be what I have up top, which is 3x squared plus 9x plus 25. And my remainder is 80, which I then divide by x minus 3. And just like that, I am all finished up. That is my final answer. I'll box it in. Beautiful answer. And that's basically it. So it's a little long division trick we're using. It works exactly like a regular long division, but we want to make sure that we get comfortable doing it with variables because everything's more fun when we do it with variables. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.